hearing in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where he was stumping for Congressman Lou Barletta up for re-election in the November midterm elections. The president once again taking aim at the media.
She's very unhappy that Trump won, that I can tell you. But I got along great with Putin. And everybody said, wow, that was great. A couple of hours later, I started hearing these reports that, you know, they wanted me to walk up. Here's a podium here. They wanted me to walk up and go like this. They wanted me to go up and have a boxing match. I said, whatever happened to diplomacy? But they can make anything bad because they are the fake, disgusting news.
It's never a dull moment, is it? To discuss, let's bring in Kenneth Del Vecchio, a Republican strategist, and Antoine Seawright, a Democratic strategist. Guys, is this working for President Trump as we lead up to the midterm elections? Is he helping or hurting his own party?
Oh, he's helping his own party. You know, there is an absolute epidemic of fake news. And while it's arguable that there's fake news on both sides of the coin, it's significantly more pervasive coming from the far left. I could use the Russian investigation and the hoax being perpetrated through it with a multitude of examples. I'll give a couple. Let's start off with that this whole notion that we're somehow enemies with Russia. That's a falsehood in and of itself. Certainly, we have completely divergent views from Russia in many ways, but when the news media starts dropping things like it's akin to them bombing us on U.S. soil in putting out messages over the internet and on Facebook and on Twitter, that's not only completely false, but it's dangerous. Who wants us to become an enemy with them? Now, one other point, collusion. I've been saying this for months on numerous different TV shows.
Collusion is not a crime.
Yeah, collusion, not only is collusion not a crime, but everybody needs to understand this legally, is that an American and a Russian could actually collude together to intercede with, interfere with, meddle with an election. It's only unlawful if an actual crime is committed, like bank fraud or
let's get to it in a second, but I want Antoine to address the media point that you just made.
I think it's political malpractice for you to sit here and defend the craziness and the foolishness of this president. Look, when the president attacks the free press, he is behaving like a dictator himself. It bothers me. Forget about Donald Trump. Forget about who he is right now. This sets a very dangerous precedent going forward. Keep in mind, we have people, I'm in South Carolina. When the president came to South Carolina to support our governor for his re-election, the news media from several other outlets, they literally had to be escorted in by law enforcement because they were getting threats. People were throwing, that's a very dangerous precedent that will supersede Trump. So for you to sit here on this program and defend that, it bothers me to my core. And the fact of the matter is this president just doesn't like people who disagree with him on the issues. The press has a job to hold them accountable. President Obama did not behave this way when Fox News, who I'm a frequent guest on, treated him the way they did. He took it as a man because it comes with the jobs. We have to get out of this business of trying to paint the media as some evil. They have a job to do, and that's to hold people accountable.
Wrong on numerous different counts.
Very quickly, though, would you agree, though, that there are members...
think you're wrong.
Would you agree, though, that there are members, that there are outlets out there, though, that because of their opinion, because of their obviously slanted bias against the president, that they, in fact, do take it too far?
Who's to say that they have slanted bias? If they disagree with Trump, that makes them biased? Absolutely not. The fact of the matter is...
They shouldn't be sharing their bias.
The fact is that this president has a catalog of lies that he presents to the American people on a regular basis. It is the Washington Post, CNN, all these other outlets. It's their job to hold them accountable.
The mainstream media, by the Hollywood boneheads, by the so-called academic elites, and by the far-left propagandists. And there were just as much of a set and track and trailblazing record of lies by Barack Obama and by his cohorts. There is absolutely no difference, except in this case, the media has come down against Donald Trump in a way that's never been seen before, not only in the entirety of the history of the United States, but in all of any democratic nation.
Have you been living in Iraq?
I've been watching reality.
Were you in the United States for 8 years when the first African-American president, the way he was treated by some of the conservative outlets, and you're telling me this is unprecedented? I think that is the most craziest thing I've heard on a Friday in New York City since I've been coming to New York.
There is no relevance to the fact that Barack Obama was African-American. People disagree with him based on policy. People disagree with him based on policies. With Donald Trump, it's sheer hatred for him personally, and it's hatred for the people who are behind him, who are supporters. This notion that media needs to come in with armed guards and law enforcement is patently absurd. People look at people wrong.
Did you know? It was just a few weeks ago.
Fake news.
Did you know a few weeks ago there were people there were journalists who were killed? Do you remember that?
There's people killed in every profession. Dentists, carpenters, people who bake rye toast.
I want you to answer my question.
Do you know that because of Donald Trump and because of the way that
it is the tone that this president has set? This is unprecedented.
That is fake news at the highest level.
I want to go back to the point that you made before. Now, we heard yesterday.
Let's address Russia.
We heard exactly. We heard yesterday the president's own national security team, Bolton, Ray, Coates, Kirstjen Nielsen, saying that Russia and other foreign entities might be probably intervening.
They are
intervening in the midterms. Do you think that the president is committed to protecting this democratic process?
Absolutely. This president sold us out on the world stage when he continues to play footsie and cuddle and flirt with Vladimir Putin. The fact that, and I disagree with you fundamentally, the fact that that is an act of cyber warfare, what Russia did to us in our 2016 elections.
But to his point, when is it legitimate? When is it legitimate for a foreign entity to intervene in local politics, in domestic politics?
It will never be legit for any foreign entity to go after the most sacred thing in our democracy, and that's our vote.
Do you know that your buddy, the guy that you think is a hero, Barack Obama, purposely went out of his way and made negative commentary against Benjamin Netanyahu when he was rerunning for office in Israel? Every country,
Barack Obama did not instruct the United States to hack into our elections.
Every type of political leader in every country across this world has purposely tried to intervene with elections, and that is free speech, and there is nothing illegal about it.
You sound absolutely ridiculous if you're defending the fact that cyber warfare happened on U.S. soil and it's continuing to happen.
As Barack Obama was, Barack Obama had the constitutional right.
Russia hacking our elections.
Barack Obama had the constitutional right to meddle and interfere with that election. All of this meddling and interfering stuff is nonsense.
We're talking about Trump and Russia.
I know we are. And what I'm trying to explain is that legally, it's all the same. Whether U.S. senators or presidents, I'm saying that it is lawful.
It is fine. You're going to do toe touches and run laps because Russia committed an act of cyber warfare.
I'm saying that it is lawful for people to have free speech rights, whatever country they come from, and to interfere with and meddle with elections. It becomes illegal when they commit crimes when they do it, like bank fraud, identity theft.
I
think it stinks. I think it stinks that they do.
I think it stinks that the president does not want to protect our democracy.
You actually really think?
That's what I think.
You actually think that we're that stupid that we're going to read something?
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it right there.
We're going to be fooled by it?
We're taking it down a notch, and
maybe a few notches.
Yeah, a few notches, I think. Thank you both, Kenneth Vecchio and Antoine Seawright, for this heated debate. And still ahead here on Crossroads, it didn't take long for the legal fight to begin in the